Hello, welcome to the Morning Serve, brought to you by Canadian Club. I'm Nick McCarville. Casey Dellacqua is here. There is so much to get through today. We're going to start with Naomi Osaka and Maddie Inglis through to the third round here for the second time. What is behind her rise? She hasn't even played a Grand Slam tournament for a long time.
Yeah, look, I genuinely believe when players are happy off the court, you tend to play your best tennis on the court. And I think for Maddie, she's, really had to work hard at that lower level, challenger level. She's backed herself and played a lot of matches. She's got engaged. She's obviously very happy off the court. And I just feel like coming through qualifying for Maddie was so important. She'd lost in the previous, I think, couple of occasions getting through that last round of qualifying. And once you do that, it's such a better feeling than just being even awarded a wild card, Nick. Like, sometimes you get these wild cards and you just don't seem to have done the same type of work to get there yourself. So I think for Maddie, just everything's falling into place and it's been amazing to watch, hasn't it?
It has. Now, you saw her a couple of nights ago, and I asked you about her reaction when she wins matches. It almost, I don't know, it looks like she's overwhelmed or something. Is that what's happening with her, or is that just a perception we have?
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit of in-the-moment reaction. If you watch her play most of her matches, she's not a very external, emotional player naturally. Like, I'm talking big come-ons after every point. So I think at the end of those two previous matches, when she's even at the last round of qualifying, that drop to the floor and that type of emotion is just a sense of relief, excitement, and I guess coming out all at once. So she's taking in every moment. She's enjoying it. She's such a sweet, softly spoken, hard-working player. So I'm just so happy for her here on the big stage.
We've seen some great vision of Jason Kubler, as you mentioned, her now fiance, and giving her advice. It must be great to have someone that close to you with that sort of tennis IQ and understanding what you're going through in that moment.
I think so, Nick. I think that is such an advantageous spot to be in, to have someone that you go back to the hotel room with, that they understand the emotion of perhaps winning or losing. They understand injuries, tactical. They know maybe when to speak and not to speak, given their own experience in the sport. And I think it was lovely to hear Jason say that, he's always there for her, whether she needs a hit. And Maddie does the same for Jason. So, look, I think, Alex and Katie Bolter, there's a lot of successful partnerships that are happening on and off the court. And look, tennis, it's a brutal sport. So I think to have that connection with another person that plays the same sport as you at the same level, I think it's a big win.
Naomi Osaka on the other side of the net. She's attracted some controversy. Sarana Castello, that match the other night at the net, there was a bit of to and fro. For someone who normally likes to ride under the radar, how does that sit with Naomi Osaka, and does it have the potential to affect her in any way?
Yeah, look, I think that she wasn't expecting that to all happen, and I got that sense post-match that it all happened in the moment for her, that she wasn't really sure how to deal with it. And interestingly, after that, I think she, apologised for potentially some of the comments she made. But yeah, sometimes that stuff can play a little bit on your mind. But I would say with Naomi being as experienced as she is, I think she'll just now put that behind her. And I'm not sure that it will play too much of a factor in this match particularly. But yes, it was all happening out there on John Cain Arena, wasn't it?
It really was. There's been a bit happening on John Cain Arena this week. Let's talk Iga Swiatek. Amazing consistency for the 24th time through to the third round of a Grand Slam. Just want to give you a little stat here. She's the only man or woman to make the third round at every slam this decade. Like, every slam throughout this decade so far. That's incredible.
Yeah, incredible consistency. To be able to show up at every slam and get to that point of the tournament time after time, I think we undervalue that in sport so much, that type of consistency. She's such a hard worker, and she's an absolute joy to talk to off the court as well. And she's so respectful to everyone around her. And I'm all for, as you know, just, good players off the court, being good people. And she brings all that, plus this level of play. I think we can really admire all the work that Iga's done over the last decade. It's a lot of work.
It really is, and continues to be. You talk about how hard she works and continually trying to get better. A lot of chat at the moment that she's just upped her aggression. There's a bit more going on in that department. Take us through that.
Yeah, look, I saw her at the United Cup throughout that whole event, and sitting courtside and initially seeing the level of intensity and aggression that she's got behind the ball now, I think she's raised it a notch. There's no doubt about it. I think reining in that aggression is the challenge for her, and when to, maybe still play with aggression but a little bit more margin and controlled, but also then having the ability to step into the court and hit some clean winners is important for her game. But look, I think that she definitely is showing signs of more aggression, and along with her talent and her movement and her ability to kind of move the ball around and spread the court, I think adding a little bit of extra aggression is a good thing for Iga.
Incredible to watch her too. She plays with this intensity. Like even the warm-up is a bit like Rafa in that regard. Even the warm-up is just at 100% all the time.
And like Rafa on the coin toss, the short, sharp feet, everything is like just intense.
Switched on. Yeah, absolutely. Kokkinakis and Kyrgios, a special case. They only lasted one round in the doubles, but not surprisingly, it was with some controversy. So they weren't happy about a couple of the reviews or lack thereof. They felt that a let was called a let, wasn't a let. They wanted to review that, weren't able to. And then there was that moment where Thanasi played across the net. That was called. They wanted to review that. And we'll take us through it.
Well, I think with the let is kind of common knowledge that you can't challenge a let. Like, I'm not sure how you challenge the machine in terms of what the machine does or doesn't hear. So that's a tricky one, but I guess they were just obviously frustrated with that one. And sometimes there's been plenty of times where I'm up the net and it's called a let and I'm like, I had heard nothing. So that is a tricky one. The other one is the rule in terms of that your opponents are allowed to challenge that after the point has finished, which is what Kubler and Polmans did.
Yep.
So I guess they all played within the rules. They lost that point. So,
rules are rules.
Rules are rules. But look, Nick and Thanasi certainly got people out there, didn't they? I mean, the crowd was packed. It was a very entertaining doubles. Yes, they lost, but it was fun to watch.
It was amazing. So it's just over our right shoulders, Kia Arena, and while Stan Wawrinka was playing the match beforehand, the crowd was like just wound around. It was 5 or 6 deep, people wanting to get into that doubles match. So it captured everyone's imagination.
Yeah, look, they certainly didn't disappoint with eyes on tennis. And I know it's a bit cliche to say, but it's important for our sport.
Yeah.
And I still stand by that they bring people to our game. And that is a good thing.
All right, Canadian club crush time. While we're talking about rules, what's the rule or the regulation that you would like changed?
Well, this is a rule that the special Ks wouldn't struggle with, but it's fastening up the game somehow, Nick. Whether that is at one love, don't need to go back and get another drink of water when you've just had a change of ends. Just move to the other side of the court. If there's a rain delay, come back out. No time to warm up, just get straight back into it. Anything that kind of quickens up the game, makes it, still giving the players and allowing them to have their breaks, especially in singles over the length of 5 sets, but in doubles or like other opportunities, just quickening up the game a little bit. I think from now, sitting as a broadcaster, that's what I would like.
Yeah,
different as a player.
I know, but there's a lot of spectators and a lot of viewers who are right on board with what you'd like to see. Absolutely. It is absolutely scorching here today. It will be the same on Tuesday in Melbourne. In terms of players preparing, and they're all professional, they'll all know what to do, but what are the keys? What are some of the things that you used to do to make sure that you were spot on for these sort of conditions? Yeah,
well, look, it's interesting. And yes, they are all professionals and they all will prepare, but are they ready for 40-degree days in Australia? I mean, that's a whole nother level of heat, I believe. It's a heat like no other. Back in the day, I would hydrate well and truly 48 hours in advance, having everything ready to go, ice towels, gels. The hydration, obviously, is absolutely critical in these type of environments. But it is going to be hot, but I loved it. Like, most of the Aussies are solar powered, so they don't mind getting out there, and the hotter the better. But I mean, it's going to be a scorcher. There's no doubt about it.
And it will be a shock to a few.
It will.
Considering the northern winter is where they've come from.
Yes, exactly right. And that's the thing. Like, we've had some warm days, but that type of heat's another level. And I think there's been some good things put in place already with the starter play being brought forward earlier. We obviously need to make sure that people like our ball kids are looked after from a safety perspective as well. That's really important. So I know that their rotations will be different. So just making sure there is a great team that obviously have all of that ready to go and in place for these type of occasions. So hopefully everyone is looking after themselves and we get through it unscathed.
We've seen some players seek out the shade at the back of the court. I can think of Alexander Zverev. He tends to do that a lot, find that shade right against the back of the court. Was there a Casey Dellacqua sort of home remedy, secret to surviving the heat? Was it just
grow
anything
up
else?
in Perth. Grow up in Perth. Spend your summers out in the sun, in the heat, at school, playing in the sun, and that's it. You'll acclimatise pretty quickly if you do that. So, but no, I had very good people around me. If you've got a good strength and conditioning team and coaching team, they should be aware of it. And a lot of the players have done all the sweat testing before, where they've measured perhaps how much sweat they lose, because everyone perspirates very differently. So I think making sure that you've kind of ticked every box is very important for these type of occasions.
Yes, and we leave you with that bit of life advice from Casey Dellacqua: grow up in Perth. Thanks for your company on the Morning Serve, with thanks to Canadian Club. I'm Nick McArdle. Bye for now.
One World of Sports is your home of the Australian Open. From highlights of the best players, every magic Aussie moment, and the best expert analysis.
We'll have every nail-biting, heartwarming and edge-of-your-seat point covered. Subscribing to Wide World of Sports on YouTube is a must for any tennis fan.